bunch of heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy 666 back with another comic book haul video. Man, this is my second go round on this video. I tried to use OBS again, shot the full video, went back and watched it, and just terrible. So here we are again back with StreamYard. Let's give it a shot. All right. Up first, we got The Last Ronin, issue number 2, the second print. You already know this has been a good series for me, man. So I'm with it. I'm gonna try and get as many of these variant covers, I guess, as I possibly can. So yeah. We've got The Last Ronin, issue number 1, the director's cut. That's like the third or fourth print, I guess, for number 1, something like that. Anyway. All right, we got Blade Runner number 1. This is the SDCC variant. This came out in 2019. It's just a nice Art Germ Virgin variant. We got the Black Widow number 4. Just a nice Adam Hughes cover. You know, I saw that in the long boxes, man. I couldn't leave it behind. Yeah, got me another one of these. That Marvel Voices Legacy number 1, the variant cover. Now check this out. I've seen this in the long boxes many times when I went to my LCS and just never picked it up. Didn't know what it was until I found out that this is Sam Wilson, Captain America number 12. This is a Tula Lotay cover. And I had shown a couple of her books that I already starting to get tongue-tied. Nice. Tongue-tied. Anyway, I had shown a couple of Tula Lotay covers before. I really like her work. This is Shuri on the cover. So, you know, once I found out what was going on with that, I was like, yeah, I got to get that. As a matter of fact, I got 2 of these bad boys. Oh, check this out. We've got Grim Universe presents quarterly The Dark Watchers featuring Gretel. Man, I saw this. This cover is dope. Cold-blooded. I had to get it. This is a Zenoscope. I can't say enough about it. This cover is awesome. It is all that. We got Maria Lovelet, Arrow Psyche, number 1. That's a Mirka Andolfo cover. Nice. And I also got the 1 in 10 Virgin variant. This is the Mercado cover. Just a beautiful cover, man. I like it. What you guys think of this cover right here? This is that Harley Quinn number 1, the Yoshitaka Amano cover. I loved it. I pre-ordered. I had to get them. I got like 3 right off the rip, and then I've been picking them up as I go along. And check it out. I looked up. It was still sitting on the shelf when I got off work. Couldn't believe it. sitting on the shelf at my LCS. Couldn't believe it. I guess quite a few people weren't. I guess people weren't feeling it. Me, I knew right off the jump when I saw this cover. I was like, "This is going to be a winner," and I didn't even know there was going to be this one per store thank you variant. Oh, check this out! Look at this cover here. I know I had to get this store variant. I know I had to get this. This is Marvel Legacy #1. Just a beautiful art germ trade dress variant of that. Love it. And of course, I had to get the Virgin variant for that. Just man, nice. Nice. So in case you haven't figured it out, I'm gonna do something a little different in this haul. I put together a haul where I'm showcasing, man, artists that I like that have come to my attention. Shout out Ultra. Let's get started with this. These are those Jen Bartel covers, man, for Women's History Month. We got up Ghost Rider #1 from the King in Black series. That's not a bad cover. I mean, I was debating on whether or not I was going to get it when I first saw it, but I was like, you know what? I got to get all these covers, and some of these I got multiples. I showed this before. This is that Avengers number 43. How about that Iron Man number? What is this? Number 7? Let me see. No, number 7. We got that Iron Man number 7 with Patsy Walker on the cover. All right. We got Spider-Woman number 19. Is this 19? No, number 10. Spider-Woman number 10. That red is throwing me off with that yellow. Anyway, that's not a bad cover right there of Jessica Drew. Then we got the Black Panther with Shuri on the cover, sporting her traditional African garb, her traditional Wakandan garb. Number 24, Black Panther. This is a beautiful Black Cat number 4. That's probably going to be one that people are going to be looking for in the future, as well as this X-Men number 19, Emma Frost. But this is by far my favorite. I love this cover. This is Silk number 1. This is definitely one that I got multiples of. Like this cover, man. Like it a lot. Up next, I want to show some Rin Gonzalez covers. Her art style is very unique. Her color palette is extremely bright K-pop kind of bright. We've got Eternals number 1, but who knows? She's an up and comer. She might produce a cover that'll really put her on the map. Peach Momoko. What's the cover that everybody went crazy for? Was it that Spider-Woman cover? What's her name? It'll come to me. But anyway, I also got the Marvel Rising Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel number 1. As well as the Marvel Rising Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl number 1. And check it out. This is a connecting cover. As is this. I believe this is also part of that connecting cover. This is Rising Omega number 1. Let me see. So there you go. And I'm sure these covers will be familiar to you guys. I'm sure you'd be like I was. Yeah, I've seen these. I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. This is the Amazing Mary Jane number 4. And this is just a badass cover. We got Hot Shots number 1, featuring Domino on the cover. This is a 1 in 25 incentive cover. Up next, let's get into some Elizabeth Torque covers. We've got the Uncanny X-Men number 4. We've got Steve Rogers, Captain America number 8. We've got Steve number 14. Number 17 for Steve Rogers. And number 18. Like I said, Elizabeth Torque, I've been picking up some of her stuff for a while. I just didn't realize she had so much stuff. She had so many covers out there, man. She's got some great artwork. Here's one in particular. Check this out. This is Elektra number 1. Awesome cover. I like that. I also got number 2, Running with the Devil, Electric number 2. Number 3. I don't believe this is Elizabeth. I don't believe this is Elizabeth Torque. Let me see. Thinking. I believe this is the 1 in 25 Stevens ratio variant cover. But they didn't have number 4 of the regular, but still, I was glad to see that in there. I'll take it. As well as I got number 5. We also have Secret Empire number 0. Totally Awesome Hulk number 13. And Hulk number 2. This is also a 1 in 25 ratio variant, as is Hawkeye Freefall number 1 and Mockingbird number 3, the 1 in 25 variant. And so is All New Wolverine number 19. Nice. Very nice. But the cover I was most happy to learn about and be able to get is this right here. This is just a beautiful, beautiful cover. We've got the Astonishing X-Men number 2, the 1 in 10 by Elizabeth Torque. And that is just a really nice mystique cover on that yellow background. I mean, this thing really pops. It really does. And I was able to get 3 of these bad boys. Up next, we got Carmen number 1. This was just a cover buy for me. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this next artist, for those who have sensitive eyes, this guy I'm about to show, man, he is something else. These covers are highly suggestive and erotic. So if it's not something you want to see, just tune out for a quick minute. I've only got a couple of covers I'm going to show. They're really not that bad, but I just thought I would give a heads up, and because I don't want to upset anybody or anything like that. Also, if there are any kids watching this video, there shouldn't be, because I've got it set on my YouTube parameters. If you're under, 13, 14, 15, something like that, beat it. This ain't for you. All right. I've given it enough time. With that said, Here's the variant cover for Carmen number 1, Milo Manara. This dude is something else. I've been looking at his covers. I'm going to try and get as many as I can, man. This dude is off the chain. I got 2 covers of that, as a matter of fact. I got Avengers World number 1. That's the 1 in 25. No, that's a 1 in 50, I believe. Yeah, that's a 1 in 50. And so is this Amazing X-Men number 1. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know what to say about this dude. He's something else. Straight out of I believe Italy, with a name like Milo Manara. Sounds like it. Up next, we've got Unnatural number 1 by Mirka and Dolfo, the variant cover. Liked it so much, I had to get 2. Had to get 2. Don't hate me. I had to get 2. And the last Milo Manara, check it out. We've got Grindhouse, Drive In, Bleed Out, number 8, Nebulina. That's a beautiful cover right there, man. Really like that a lot. Glad I was able to get me one. All right. For the next part of this video, what I'm about to get into is, I'm sure nobody is showing these books at all. I don't even know how I came across them. I just knew that I saw the covers online, and I kept looking at those books, looking at those books, looking at those books. And I was like, man, what is this? And I just kept looking. Finally, I was like, you know what? The covers intrigued me so much, I had to get them. And I guarantee you, nobody's talking about these at all. But I'll tell you what, I was thinking to myself, I got them. Well, let me just show it first. Look at this cover. Anybody know what this is? Anybody out there know what this is? I didn't even know what this was. I had no clue. But I got them. This is by Alan Moore, man. This is Neonamicon number 1. And like I said, when I bought this, I had no idea what to expect with this. I was not even planning on reading this. This was just strictly a cover buy for me. But I kept looking at the covers and I was so intrigued. I was like, man, let me crack this book open and see what's going on. And all I can say is, wow, mind blown. Man, what goes on in this story is wow. I was like, well, I guess I'll never have to worry about anybody specking on this. But you know what? Have you guys seen that TV show Lovecraft Country? Man, I finally sat down last month and started watching that. I was blown away. That show was off the chain. That was a badass show, man. I couldn't believe how good that was. I was like, man, I waited this long to watch that. But I'll tell you what, after watching that series, yeah, they could do this. It would have to be on Netflix after hours, but they could definitely do it. This shit is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I also got number 2. Look at that cover. That is off the chain. Number 3. Uh-oh. Where's the other one? Did I lose count? No. I'm missing a book. Wait a What is going on? Give me just a second. All right. Where the heck is it? Well, somehow it got out my stuff got out of order. Like I said, I tried to shoot this video. I went through the whole thing, and it was just so bad. After I went back and reviewed it, I had to just delete it and start over. So maybe I set it somewhere else. Anyway, so like I said, I was just completely blown away by this story, the art, the covers. I went online and started doing some little research, and I ran into this. I mean, if it couldn't get any weirder, check this out. This is Necronomicon number 1, the black leather cover. Yeah, you heard me right. Black leather cover. Just when I thought this couldn't get any weirder, a leather cover. But I'll tell you what, this thing is bad. I like it. It's signed also by the artist Justin Burroughs. But like I said, once I started going online and doing some research to see what else was going on, Alan Moore, man, he's something else. I think if you guys been following me, you saw in one of my previous videos, I showed Miracle Man number 1. That's a Alan Moore story. This dude has quite a lexicon, man. He's got some stuff. So I'm gonna start getting into some of his titles. But I had to backtrack. Oh, by the way, Neonamicon came out in 2010. Man, I can't believe that's got me messed up. I can't believe I misplaced. Well, maybe it'll show up. Anyway, so I found that the story actually starts right here with the courtyard. This is number 1, and this is the variant cover, number 2. And then after the courtyard, and I haven't started reading these yet, I finally was able to put all these together. I was surprised, man. A lot of this stuff I was pulling out of dollar bins. But then again, you know, this might be a little weird, too weird for some people. So they were like, I don't even want to mess with it. So maybe it just didn't sell well or something. I don't know. But for me, I saw these covers a while ago. And even before I really knew what it was, before I got turned on to Neonamicon, I didn't even know these were connected, but I just liked the covers. So we got the Providence number 1. This is the continuation. These, I think these came out recently. This is the variant cover for that number 1. We got number 2, number 3, Providence number 4, number 5, a variant for number 5, number 6. Oh, like I said, dollar bin. Number 7, a variant for number 7, number 8, another number 8, number 9, number 10, the variant for number 10. And this dude, I did read the courtyard. He's in the courtyard, so he probably figures throughout all of this. Just a weird dude. Just if you're into this kind of stuff, check it out. Just weird Lovecraftian kind of stories. This is for you. Number 11, the variant for number 11. Number 12, the variant for number 12. Okay, let me grab these. Because like I said, it just when you think you're done, I come across this. This is Providence number 12. And this is called the Blood Red leather cover. Yeah, you heard me right. The Blood Red leather cover. And not to be outdone, they came out with the Black Death, number 12. Leather cover. Wow. But like I said, I started falling in love with these. I've never had a leather cover comic book. Leather for a comic book. But anyway, I saw this and I had to get it. Another Neonamicon number 1, but this time it's not only signed by Justin Burroughs, it's also signed by the man himself, Alan Moore. All right. Okay, the next part of this haul video, I'm about to take you guys down a rabbit hole, man. There it is right there. Here it is right here. There's that other one, Neonamicon number 3, 2 or 3, something like that. Got mixed in with my spec play that I'm about to make for you guys. All right, well, this might get a little lengthy, but if you guys are interested, stick around. If not, I'll check you out in the next video. But man, like I said, after the Wanda Vision, I started thinking about why Mephisto did not show up. And it got me wondering, because everybody was just so sure that he was coming. And I went back and, West Coast Avengers number 53 was getting hot. That came out in 1989. That had Master Pandemonium on the cover with Wanda's 2 sons turned into look like demons or something for arms or whatever that was. But the way the story goes, I guess Mephisto hired him to go and retrieve his soul pieces. He had his soul separated into 5 pieces, and Wanda, when she created her twins, Speed and Wiccan, she ended up getting 2 pieces of Mephisto's soul for her kids. And it got me to wondering what caused Mephisto's soul to separate in the first place into 5 pieces. And I found that led me to this right here. Fantastic Four, number 277. This is where Mephisto goes in and he basically kidnaps the Fantastic Four and takes their souls down into hell. And I had to read this book because I was curious about how all this got started. And he takes them down to hell along with their son, Franklin Richards. And he's got Franklin encased in what looks like a crystal. And he's torturing Sue and Reed Richards. and they're powerless against him. And somebody calls in Doctor Strange, and he comes to where their bodies are in our present day reality, and that people think they're dead, and they've got them laid out on the ground. But actually, of course, he figures out where they are and what's going on, and he goes down into the realm, and he's seeing what's going on. And Reed Richards has figured out that Mephisto is siphoning off their son, Franklin Richards' powers, and he's using that against them, and that's why they can't do anything about it. And Reed Richards is screaming to him to release his son, and Mephisto freaks out, and he's like, "Don't do it." And when Strange, he's like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on, but I'll follow your lead, Reed," and he releases Franklin from that whatever that is that Mephisto has him in. And the little kid starts freaking out. And he starts talking about no more. And, you're a bad man and I want you gone. And he lights up, Franklin back in the day, and probably even, well, I don't know how they retconned him, but he was the most powerful mutant, I believe, on the planet at that time. His whole body lights up, and he just says, he wants the bad man gone. And before he disintegrates Mephisto, that's where I guess he separates his soul into these 5 pieces. But like I said, that story intrigued me so much, man. I started going after these books. I'm not saying this is going to be spec play or anything, but I'm just starting to lead you down this rabbit hole that I went. So buckle up. Anyway, this is a Canadian variant. I got 2 of those, as well as a Mark Jeweler. And like I said, I like this so much. I also picked up a 9.6. Also, what's happening in this story, man? This is around the time of Secret Wars. Ben Grimm comes back from Secret Wars. I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but Ben Grimm comes back, and all he wants to do is get to his girlfriend / fiance. What's her name? Alicia Masterson. And he finds out that Johnny Storm has been shacking up with her while he was gone. And the She-Hulk is now assumed his position in the Fantastic Four. So that's another interesting little side story. But anyway, like I said, I started there, and I was still trying to find where, I was like, well, anyway, Wanda Vision was on the Disney streaming, and I just didn't think there was no way we were going to see Mephisto. It would have been cool on the Disney platform. Parents, mothers, they might have freaked out about that. So I started thinking of where else we might see him, and I got to thinking about Blade. We got Blade coming to the MCU, and that might be a great place to start him out at. That whole mystical, not mystical, but that whole horror genre type of deal that Marvel wants to go into. And I was trying to find a first appearance or first time that Blade and Mephisto met. And man, I was going through just titles and reading different things online and just trying to figure out where I could find it at. And I couldn't. But during my search, I ran into this. Check it out. This is Strange Tales number 1. This is the movie variant with Wesley Snipes. This came out in 1998. And not only did I not get number 1, I got number 2 and number 3 of that story. And also, while I was searching, I came across an interesting story that deals with Deacon Frost, Hannibal King. The title of this is Blade, the One-Shot, Crescent City of Blues. Now, in this story arc, in this one-shot, Deacon Frost teams up with this lady named Marie Laveau to take over the organized crime in New Orleans. I think there's a subplot or something dealing with Dracula. He's not acting like he's not the Lord of Vampires at this time. But Deacon, he captures Blade, Hannibal King, and check this out. Brother Voodoo is in this story. And I'm saying to myself, uh-oh, wait a minute. We've already heard some speculation a while back that Brother Voodoo was going to be showing up in the MCU. As a matter of fact, people think he's going to show up in that Doctor Strange movie coming out, Multiverse of Madness. We already know that America Chavez is coming, but a lot of people are thinking that may be where we see it's Dr. Voodoo now, but I still prefer Brother Voodoo, Brother Man. But anyway, Deacon Frost captures Hannibal, Blade, and Brother Voodoo. They end up, of course, the heroes escape, and Blade and Deacon Frost, they battle to a stalemate, and Deacon Frost escapes. But I just thought this was really interesting when I was reading it, as far as something that could possibly show up, and it could be, if they do bring Brother Voodoo into the MCU and on Doctor Strange, they're going to want to have him in multiple stories. They want to try and find places for him to fit in, and Blade could be an awesome place. Also, if they do ever decide to bring Strange Academy either to the big screen or Disney streaming, we already know Brother Voodoo is he's an instructor at the Academy. Oh, and by the way, I picked up 2 copies of that. Anyway, getting back to my hunt, I came across, of course, the Night Stalkers, and when Blade joined the Night Stalkers, and I was reading that at one time, the mother of all demons, Lilith, the wife of Samael, Satan, the fallen angels, she comes to the Night Stalkers, and she comes to hire them to kill the Ghost Rider. Like, what? All right. She wants them to kill the Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze in the Night Stalkers. And once they figured out that they were being duped, there's this whole battle that takes place between Lilith and her demons. And Blade and crew, they continue on together doing their thing. But I was like, Lilith, okay, let me go and see if I can find something on Lilith. And sure enough, check this out. We've got Vampire Tales, number 4. This came out in 1974. This is the first cameo appearance of Lilith. So, I'm kind of finding my own path. You know what I'm saying? Not really going by what anybody else is saying. This has been my process. Not only did I get 1, I got 2 of these. I really liked the cover, and I just thought it was interesting. And who knows who we're going to see in the future. So I thought for me, this was. But let's move ahead a little bit with Blade. You got Blade, Doctor Strange, and Morbius, along with the Darkhold Redeemers, to form the next leg of this possible horror arc run where everybody thinks we're going, and we're going to go into the Midnight Suns. Now, keep in mind, this group that was created, they're dedicated to preserving the boundaries between the world of the living and the dark realms. And of course, Blade's soul, his desire is to destroy supernatural enemies. And because of this strong desire within him, it led him to be tricked into using, get this, the Darkhold. Let me say that again. Blade was tricked into using the Darkhold. Now let that marinate for a minute. Let's go back to the beginning of this when I started talking about Wanda Vision. Yeah, wow. At the end of that, Agatha Harkness reveals to her the Darkhold. And it ends up, spoiler alert, the Scarlet Witch, that whole the battle took place, and it ends up Scarlet Witch needs some time, so she goes to this little remote cabin, who knows where in the distant, and her astral form is reading and studying and learning from the Darkhold. And of course, everybody is theorizing that she's going to use that to reincarnate her sons, Speed and Wiccan, which is why everybody is freaking out and why the Young Avengers #1 is going absolutely apeshit right now. But with that being said, the Darkhold, I had to stop. I had to wait. I had to say to myself, wait, stop. Okay, here it is again. And also keep in mind, not just did we see it in Wanda Vision, but that immediately threw me back into, and I've talked about this series before, and if you didn't watch it, it was a great series, man. You got to make it past like season 1, but once you get into like season 2 and it starts rolling, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that TV show, man, that was off the chain. That was a great series. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a service and go watch that, man. Anyway, in season 4, they had a little story arc dealing with what? The Darkhold. Yes, they did. You can't make this stuff up. I have to give it to the writers and the creators. If they plan this stuff that far back, wow. Okay? Just wow. So now I'm off a blade, right? And now I'm getting ready to go. And I said after this point, I was like, I need to learn more about what's going on with the Darkhold. So here we go. We're getting ready to dive. This is where we really start deep diving. And well, just sit back and enjoy the ride, man. So check it out. Eons ago, there was this elder god, right? His name is Cthon. And Cthon is the creator, writer, whatever you want to call it, of the Darkhold. And I've actually shown this book before and really didn't, I was just picking up things hot. I liked it. I was like, this might be a good spec. But once I dove in and I started looking into the lore and the history of Marvel and where they went with this, right here. This is Marvel Chillers #1, Modred the Mystic. This is the first appearance of Cthon. Like I said, once I saw that and I started getting deeper and deeper into this, I had to go pick me up. This was the highest grade I saw at the time. I had to go get it. This is an 8.0. Okay. So Cthon wrote all of his evil works and spells on an indestructible parchment. It was originally written on flesh before being transcribed into stone, and later collections of parchments, often referred to as the Cthon scrolls. These pages were bound together into a tome or a codex type that was named the Darkhold. Now I'm going to leave that there because I'm going to come back to this a little later down the line. Cthon left the scrolls. He's left the scrolls on Earth so that they might be like a gateway or to serve as a conduit for him between the Earth realm and his realm, so that he would always be able to have an influence of power over this planet. Just it's unreal. I couldn't believe how deep this stuff goes. But like I said, this Marvel Chillers #1, this came out in 1975. It's the first appearance of Cthon. It's the first appearance of Modred the Mystic. humans first found the Darkhold during what they were calling the pre-cataclysmic era. This is when, now check it out, when Atlantis and Lemuria, like what, was still above the waters on the planet. This is when a time when Kull, do you guys know Kull? Kull the Conqueror? Kull the Conqueror. He slew the dark sorcerer, Thulsa Doom. And I'm going to get into that in another haul, but Thulsa Doom, Kull the Conqueror, the Darkhold, goes back there. It goes back. Okay? I guess when Thulsa Doom, when he was defeated, his followers, calling themselves the Darkholders, yeah, utilized a spell in order to defeat Kull, whatever. They utilized the spell contained in the Darkhold to create, you ready for this? The very first vampires on the planet. I'm like, what? The Darkhold is responsible for the first vampire. And the first vampire to be created by the Darkhold on the planet appears in this book right here. We've got Marvel Magazine Group number 33, Bizarre Adventures. That first vampire's name was, I'm probably going to butcher it, but I'm going to give it a shot. Varnae, Varnae. Anyway, they created him to do battle with Kull. You know, Kull was a bad boy. And I'm not going to get into it now, but check it out. The Darkhold goes back and deals in and around the time with Conan, Red Sonja. And let's keep in mind that Marvel reacquired Conan. You starting to see the links? I'm like, this is not what they're going to do, is it? Anyway, Varney, he had gotten into a battle. He got into a skirmishes with Kull the Conqueror. Anyway, when he was mortally wounded, almost defeated by Kull, he consumed some of the followers of Thulsa Doom. And in doing so, to regain his power, he creates the first vampire. He started creating the first vampire legion, horde, however you want to put it out there. Anyway, after all this went down, some of the surviving members of the Darkholders, you know, after that war, whatever, Great War, whatever we want to call it, they managed to make off with the Darkhold before Atlantis sank. Now, the next thing that I want to get into, and I've shown this before, and to me, this is the link, the center point from which all this stuff can possibly rotate around. Wanda Vision, everything they might be doing, how things are going to go forward in the future. I've shown this before also, and people have talked about this book, but I have never really understood until I went in for myself, and just some of the stuff that I found out, it blew me away. Anyway, this is the Avengers number 187. The first appearance, I believe, of the Darkhold is in, what is that? Is it Werewolf by Night number 4? No, it's something. Anyway, this came out in 1979. This is the origin of the Darkhold, and it has in it the first appearance of the Darkholders and a flashback. It also has the first appearance of, get this, Gregor Rusoff. And who is he? He's the grandfather of Jack Russell. Does that name sound familiar? It should. Jack Russell is the Werewolf by Night. He's the grandson of this guy named Gregor Russell. Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night. Now, you ask yourself, how is that linked in to the Darkhold? How does it tie in? Okay, so as the story goes, sometime in the 1930s, Gregor acquires the Darkhold, and he would take and transfer. He would later copy the Darkhold or some of the spells or whatnot into the journal of his ancestors, and he used this journal for himself. And as to how he came how he got it, there's some varying stories on that, but we're not going to go there. What I am going to say is that back a couple generations prior, there's his name is Gregory. He's a distant relative of Gregor Rusov. He actually was a werewolf, and he was back in the day battling Dracula at Dracula's castle, and he was mortally wounded. And something about a gypsy or something found him, and she brought him back to life by biting him, and turning him into a werewolf. And this curse went on. It was passed down from generation to generation through the bloodlines, but not everybody that received the curse turned into a werewolf. So what does Gregor do? He invokes a spell that he had to have deciphered, that unlocked the ability that turned him into how's it go? He read the origin of lycanthropy in the Darkhold, and after chanting some words, he turned himself into a werewolf. Just crazy. So I got to thinking about Jack Russell coming to the MCU, right? And I'm like, well, I think Marvel, if they are going to get into this whole horror genre, they might want to bring a group of them together to battle an even darker foe. And in order for Jack Russell, I'm thinking, to be able to do that, he's going to want to be able to control his transformations. And I said, let me see if I can find something where that happens. And sure enough, it happens here in Werewolf by Night, number 38. This is where we get the first appearance of the three who are all. And they were able to partially lift the curse and allow him to change at will. And he would be able to retain his human intellect while in werewolf form. I like this book so much, I grabbed two of these. I'm not saying anything is going to happen with this, but this is just when I dove in, just where my mind went, and what I started looking into, what I wanted to get. So after this, we've got one last thing that I want to talk about with this Avengers number 187. Morgan Le Fay is also mentioned in this book in a flashback. So when I started doing a little research on Morgan Le Fay, come to find out she has deep roots tied back into Darkhold lore. She is credited with acquiring the Darkhold scrolls. Remember, I said I'll come back to this. Well, here we are now. She was the one who binded them into the first magical tome. She's, like I said, she collected them and she binded them into the first magical tome that became the Darkhold book. So after doing this, Morgan and the Darkholders, the followers of Thulsa Doom, they wanted to try and resurrect Cthulhu in order to be able to gain his powers and control him. And in doing so, he was just too powerful. And Morgan Le Fay she couldn't defeat him, but she was lucky that she was able to banish his spirit. And I was like, Morgan Le Fay, what's her first appearance? Her first appearance, check this out, is in The Black Knight, number 1, 1955. I know exactly what that book is, and I knew I was priced out of that a long time ago. That book it's up there in price. But after seeing that, I'm like, we got the Black Knight coming to the MCU, man. We got him he's going to be in the Eternals. So why not Morgan Le Fay at some point? I think she's going to show up. I think she's going to show up, not just because she's tied to the Black Knight, but I think this Darkhold thing, man, is going to be huge moving forward. And not only do I think it's going to be huge, I think that it's not going to be Mephisto right off the bat. I'm thinking right off the bat, it's going to be Chthon. We're going to see Chthon. Because if you're going to deal in the Darkhold, you got to bring the creator of the Darkhold into the story. But anyway, back to Morgan Le Fay. Like I said, that book is too expensive. So I was like, well, where else does she appear? And sure enough, check it out. This is Morgan Le Fay's first appearance into the Bronze Age. Of all places, Spider-Woman number 2. Now, if that doesn't have your mind just going, when I was going through all this, I was just going nuts. I couldn't believe all the stuff that was tying together. I'm like, what's her name? It was announced last year or year before last that the woman that was on House, Olivia Wilde, she was going to be taking on a spider person project in the future. And people are thinking that it's going to be Spider-Woman. And sure enough, like I said, here we are. I mean, I might be way out there. You guys let me know what you think. You know, by all means, comment. Tell me if you think I'm on the right track. Do you think I'm way off, or do you think what I'm saying might have some merit? But like, excuse me. But like I said, Morgan Le Fay, her first appearance into the Bronze Age happens here in Spider-Woman number 2. So I had to pick up a couple of copies of this. All right. Hopefully I haven't bored you guys too much. I know I got a little long-winded there, but this was a lot, and I just wanted to put it out there, man. I thought this was extremely interesting. And if you guys are like me, if you love this stuff, if you're into the stories, and you know, you're fascinated with not just the past but the present and what they're doing and how all this stuff links together, man, you know what to do. You know, like, subscribe, support a brother. Let me know what you think. By all means, if you have some comments, let me know. Put them out there. So with that being said, oh, one last thing. Check this out. These cards back here, this is from one of the Marvel trading card series. Also ran across this. Look at this. Yeah, 187 in card form. I was like, wow, you gotta love it. Of all the covers that they could have put on there, of all the moments in Marvel history, this was one of them that they put in the card. So all right, man, I'm done. I've taken up enough of you guys' time. So with that being said, this is your boy 666. Until next time, I'm out.